Freedom comes at a cost. That your discipline will either give you the life that you want, or your lack of discipline will give you a life full of regret. You are free to make those choices. You are not free of the consequences.
I want to help you build a Mississippi River of cash flow. What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? Money Smart Guy, Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas, on the PHP Podcast here. Joining me today from Houston, Texas, fellow first-generation cash flow millionaire immigrant from El Salvador. We got Rodolfo Vargas. What's going on, brother?
Doing great, Matt. Getting ready for the 43rd podcast, and there is so much in this one, so much fire. This is an important month. We're gonna be talking about the Financial Literacy Month right now. We're gonna be talking about the event that we're gonna be having in a couple weeks, and called Train the Trainers, and so many new stories that we have, Matt. So excited to be here.
We're also going to talk about the most important rule in entrepreneurship. We have a new book of the month we're going to reveal, and also conversations about what topic you want us to bring up during Financial Literacy Month. We want your feedback. We're going to get started here in episode 43 of the PHP Podcast, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's All right, we're back, man. We have a new look. How do you like that new look, man? The new intro. We're gonna have a new outro. We are, bro. Could you imagine 43 episodes? We're into this thing right now. How you feeling so far as we launch off into episode 43? Those now for 43 straight weeks, Rodolfo.
I'm loving it because the recommendation that people are sending us. Hey, talk about this, talk about that. The recommendation that we're getting, and the guests that we've been having lately. We've been having so many good news about the guests that we've been having. So, excited for the new look. Great job to everybody over there in PHP home office for doing the new look over here in the podcast.
I'm excited about the next couple of weeks, and we're ramping everything up for the number one skills up. We're going to raise up your skills to be a financial services professional, an entrepreneur in the business world, how to transition from an employee mentality to a self-employed, to a business owner mentality, to eventually an investor type of mentality. A lot of things are going to be packed here in the next couple of weeks at Train to Train, of which you will be an instructor at, Rodolfo. You know, we were talking last night with Said Daibez in our organization, right? And by the way,
Dr.
we had an
Said,
update video last night with
excuse me, Matt. Excuse me, Dr. Said. Okay?
Oh, excuse me. Dr. Said, he's literally, for those of you watching this, you may not know Dr. Said Daibez. He's actually a doctor in nuclear medicine, but he's having so much more fun being a doctor of money doctor. And he went from $50,000. This time last year, he was at less than $50,000 of income. 12 months later, through the things he learned at Train a Trainer, of course, with the big event we had, our annual convention in August, he went from $50,000 to over $250,000 in cash flow. And Rodolfo, you kind of have the same similar story too as well.
Yeah, I think that we can tell stories each other about the how our business changed. So let me give you some of my stories, okay?
Sure.
So, well, you know, my background is It's not financial services. I went to school over there in El Salvador, but I'm an immigrant that I came into the US when I was 22 years old, and I was working at Sears. I used to be a security guard. Okay. That's my background. My background is not sales. My background is not insurance. My background is not financial services. My background is not rolling over index annuities, doing life insurance. That has nothing to do with my background. So, but this training is helping. So let me explain to you this. The first month that the best months I have in my career in income is always after training trainers, all the time, because the skill level increases for everybody. And not only that, you know what I saw, Matt? The income my guys started to improve.
Yeah.
I saw guys, I have a guys that before going to trainers, let's just say, right, they were making $2,000 a month. Then they started making $10,000 a month. Have guys who were making $500 a month, they started making $7,000 a month. Have guys that went from making $2,000 a month to making $30,000 a month. So there is a different skills. But for me, I learned about annuities. I learned about index universal life. I learned about life insurance. I learned about term. I learned about different type of policies. You know what I also learned? You know what I also learned that we're going to be training on train the trainers is conflict management. How about that one?
That's a great topic, conflict management.
Correct. Because in any typical sales organization, they only train on sales. So let me teach you how to close. Let me teach you how to overcome objections. But in not every company, they teach you how to deal with conflict. Since people forget that there is always gonna be conflicts in everything. So we tie insurance, financial services, building leaders as well. There's gonna be leadership classes. We're gonna see numbers. We're gonna be tracking numbers. And guess what? We're gonna be learning conflict management, which is amazing. How about you, Matt? Stories about you?
Yeah, I'm excited too as well. Just the lifting of all boats, when the leader decides to make a shift in business. And we're just having a conversation with that over coffee this morning, is that oftentimes people say, my people this, my people that. Well, it's based on you as a leader. It's based on you as a leader. You've got to grow as an individual yourself. You just can't expect your people to do it. You can't just say, I'm just going to get an insurance license. I'm going to do a couple policies here and there, but I want my people to do it though. I want everybody to do it. Speed of the leader is a speed of the team. And you have an expectation from your people of how you're going to perform, because they're going to look at you. And the irony of leadership is they do half of what you do right, but twice of what you do wrong. And
so repeat that.
Your people will do half of what you do right and twice of what you do wrong. And so there's so much of a element of leadership development in business. People just think it's financial products and services, which it is. We're going to teach you life insurance products. We're going to teach you appropriate and suitable sales. We're going to teach you how to close first appointment, second appointment. We're going to teach you how to make sure you follow up underwriting. We're going to teach you how to overcome objections. And we discussed in previous podcasts, Rodolfo, that's probably about 20% of our business. But the rest of the insurance industry talks about, no, 80%, 90% of business is sales and marketing and next lead and et cetera, et cetera. They don't talk about you growing as an individual. And people try to do that and it's fake. It's not genuine. People sense it, they feel it. And I tell you this, Rodolfo, I've learned a lot from studying pastors and comedians in running this business. In addition to guys like yourself and our CEO, founder, Patrick and David, I've also studied in practical application how leadership development, public speaking, and grooming a sales force that's independent contractor based, and how to run an organization, grow an organization. A lot of people try to duplicate that, and I tell you this: you do this, you pull off one of the greatest feats in leadership development that currently is around today, because people follow you not what you are about in terms of sales and production or your title. People follow you because what you stand for. And I think that's what makes PHP unique.
How about competition? Is there going to be some competition in trainers?
Intense competition in trainer. We're talking about inside. I mean, Rodolfo, let it be known. If people don't know it from the outside, from the inside, it's a WTP, MSM, Unity throwdown. A TGA throwdown. TCO throwdown. SOS throwdown. We're all the internal teams, the companies inside the company, the PHP agency, they're at it, and everybody's fighting for speaking time. People expect to come to the stage to get speaking time. No, you got to come here and earn it, even though you had speaking time in previous events. But if you didn't earn speaking time because you're performing today, quite frankly, you're not getting speaking time. And it's just not speaking time, Rodolfo. It's calling you out from stage because he or she that has control of the podium and the mic has the last say.
Extremely competitive. That's another part that makes us different. Some people, competition is not that important. Nah, you don't want to compete. So we're extremely competitive. So these Train the Trainers, if you're listening to this and you're going to be joining us in Train the Trainers, make sure you bring your A game because it's going to be very, very competitive. And we cannot wait to see our peers to see who's going to bring their A game.
Let's get, Rodolfo, shall we show them a little clip of what the Train the Trainer is actually going to look like and what to expect in the next couple of weeks? Shall we do that?
Let's do it.
All right, let's take a look at this video. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Freedom comes at a cost. That your discipline will either give you the life that you want, or your lack of discipline will give you a life full of regret. You are free to make those choices. You are not free of the consequences.
I want to help you build a Mississippi river of cash flow.
So I hope that you guys leave here today just with that new, renewed mindset.
I can't wait to see what happens in the next 10 years.
PHP can change your life, but you have to change first.
PHP, baby! PHP knows, baby! And I want to work with somebody who's excited.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think that there is that. Very well.
What was there a lag in the video?
Yes.
Little bit of lag, huh?
Yes, but
I think we caught it there towards the end, bro. Yeah, I think we caught it towards the end though, man. But I'm excited. I mean, could you believe, Rodolfo, that our company's after party is us shutting down Universal Studios just for us?
So we are known by doing as a company the lavish, craziest after parties ever. So we have shut down the Cowboys Stadium, okay? and we have had the pictures on the Jumbotron, your picture, our pictures over there in the top. We have shut down the entire club over there in MGM Grand Arena. We have done in a what's it called, the Hakkasan Club,
That's right.
So this time we are shutting down for WTP Universal Studios. How about that? How about that?
That's nuts, man. I remember going there a couple of years ago. Actually, it was last year. I took the kids out because John Mason invited me to do his Fast Start School in Orlando, and we'd stay a day later to take my kids to Universal Studios. Bro, would you believe Universal? Okay, hold up, read this real quick. Talk about inflation. Let's talk about inflation right quick. So all we had was Sunday because I had to get back for Monday morning. So we had Fast Start School Saturday. So I brought Jordan, brought the twins with me. So I brought 3 kids, our nanny, and we go out and celebrate, some time with the kids, Universal Studios. Now I wanted to go through all this. I want to go through all the rides as much as we could. So instead of just getting the regular membership or pass, Rodolfo, I wanted to get the fast pass, the express pass. Okay.
Yeah.
And the lady I saw, because she had a tag on, she's from Ecuador, right? She goes, her name, but below is Ecuador. And she told me the price for 5 tickets, fast passes, so we can go through all the runs, zip through the lines, we can access right away to the front of the line. You know what it cost me, bro?
Much.
$2,500.
No way.
Yeah, $2,500. I'm flipping out. I'm like, seriously? $2,500 for 5 passes and express pass? What? Seriously? By the way, I wasn't tripping out the fact of the amount. I was tripping about the fact that how many people would like to do that, but it costs them $2,500.
Yeah.
And they can't do it. They don't have access to it. I'm thinking myself, I looked at my twins. I said, girls, listen, I'm not reluctantly sliding my card because I can't afford this. That's the point. I'm just shocked and amazed that just going to a theme park is $2,500.
Yeah.
I mean, what are people spending to get down there for a day at Universal Studios? And on top of that, airline and hotel, they're spending $7,000-8,000 just to get their whole entire family there. And I just feel blessed to be able in a financial position coming from making $20,000 a year as a sergeant in the Marines to not worry about sliding my Amex card, $2,500 to get my kids access. And we got through all of them, man. We got through all the rides, but to know that PHP is shutting it all down, that's it, man. And which I think is a great segue, Rodolfo, into a financial literacy month conversation.
That's right. That's right. By the way, did you take vacations when you were a kid with your parents?
I think we took a vacation to the local community pool, we live by a lake, so we went to the dunes. We drove around to Indiana Dunes in Chicago, but not so much, man. I can't remember the solid. We did take a bunch of road trips. That's about it, but never really airplanes.
Yeah, we were that type of vacation, like my family. No, in El Salvador, you have the beach, right? You can go to the beach and you can just
go to the what, Rodolfo?
Go to the ocean. I forgot that we're live on the national.
I heard beaches.
Okay, good. So that's all we did, but there was not vacation. I mean, there's not a staying in a hotel, stuff like that. I didn't grow up like that. So, I mean, it's amazing to have the experience to do that, to have the chance to do that in here. Right now we're going to Orlando in 2 weeks. Then we're going to, where are we going next? We're going to
Paris, Monaco.
Paris, Monaco. Okay?
Paris, Monaco this June.
And then we're going to Cabo. No, then we're going to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Then we're going to Cabo. And by the end of the year, we have another trip. So every 2 to 3 months, we have vacation. Don't you agree? Oh, no. Wait. What are we going to be going? What are we going this weekend?
We're going to, oh, shoot, bro, this weekend. We're going to Patriots at Gillette Stadium, Patriot Stadium. We're going to spend some time with our CEO founder, Patrick Bet-David. And we're going to process and watch together the Man in the Arena documentary to pick up the leadership principles and values that's allowed Tom Brady to do what he's done throughout his 21, 22, 23 plus year career, man. So I'm excited about that.
So we're shutting down the Patriots Stadium, right? We're going to be there, right? And we're going to meet some interesting people that I don't know, that you don't know, that we don't know, that is going to be a surprise, the people that we're going to be meeting. And so we're going to be in the Patriots Stadium this weekend. It's insane. No, Monday, right? Monday, we're going to be there.
So I want to show you something here, bro. Speaking of Universal Studios, I just Googled this right quick. Let's take a look at what it costs to go to Universal Studios, man. You know, one park, you know, one park pass. You know, one one pass, and one park one day. It's $109. Right?
Oh.
$109 to go to the park here. And express passes. Here's the express pass. So if you want the express pass to get to the front, it's another $220, $89. Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, man, which are right next to each other. Because one side of, I guess, the lagoon is Universal Studios, the other side of the lagoon is Islands of Adventure. So it's basically double up.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's nuts what they're charging here, man. And to park, extras. Let's see here, extras. Oh yeah, photos, VIP experience, photo package. Jeez, all adds up, man. And then you can buy your $10 bottle of water when you get there.
That's right. You know, but this would be nice that the company is going to shut down the entire park so we can go have fun.
So let's talk about this other here about financial literacy. Okay. So April is Financial Literacy Month, a month dedicated to increasing and improving your financial literacy. And so some stats here, man. So it's about building habits, some stats. I'm just curious for the people watching this video, watching this podcast. I'm just curious, how much do you think that it takes for the typical person to run it into an emergency? And look more simple. What's the average cost for an emergency for the person that's listening out there? Flat tire, car doesn't start, healthcare emergency, whatever the case may be. Rodolfo, when were you worried? When were you worried about mistakes? What dollar amount were you worried about emergencies and financial mistakes happening?
Well, remember, you're a money smart guy. You're the money smart guy.
Because I'm money dumb.
That's right on your corner. Okay, that's the topic. But you know, the experts. Would you agree that the experts recommend to have 6 to 12 months of their income, right? Save for emergency, right? That's what they say, that we should have an emergency. What happened is the way that we were educated, or the way that I was raised, which is not my parents' fault. It's just the way it is. Okay. Is like my emergency is called my credit card. That was my emergency, not my savings. I mean, we're not used to save money. We were not used to, so I was reading about the average Japanese, okay? Average Japanese, how much do they save toward retirement or toward their future? So the average Japanese, they put away 20% of their income toward their retirement or toward their future. So 20% of their income. Average American, you know, what's the average that they put away toward their retirement or toward their savings?
How much?
-1%.
That's it.
So we spend more, right? We have so much debt that we don't have savings. So that is a problem. So for me, what is it said over the situation is that for more than half Americans can cover $1,000 emergency expense with savings. 100%.
That's exactly it. For me, bro, it's $500. Because I remember one time my tires went flat in Chicago, and instead of getting a brand new tire, I asked if they can find a used tire, and still cost me $300, and that set me back. Right?
I know what. Man, every time we take the car to the dealer, they need to change the tires, and those tires are expensive.
Right.
You know?
And then meanwhile, 20% of employees run out of money before their next paycheck, according to Salary Finance. That's up 15% last year.
Why do you think that is? You're the money smart guy. Tell us. I mean,
inflation. I think it's inflation, bro. It's inflation. Rising cost of goods and services, rising cost of gas, rising cost of rentals. I mean, landlords right now are having a field day. They're just increasing rents. People's 6-month lease is done, 12-month lease is done. Boom, they're jacking up another couple $100. U.S. adults corrected only 50% of the questions on a personal financial index in 2021, a noted measure of financial literacy. That's 2 percentage points lower than the previous year. Here's another one.
But how about, I know inflation, but how about people living beyond their means? What do you think about that?
Yeah, there is that conversation too as well. But think about it though. How much is the typical rent? How much is your typical car payment? How much is it for food, electricity, cell phone bill? Okay, granted, we went during the pandemic, we saw people hanging out at Gucci stores, hanging out Louis Vuitton, right? And they got bags upon bags upon bags. Like, what the heck? And I asked the salespeople, where do you think people are getting this money to spend? They said a combination of unemployment checks, not paying their rent, and these stimulus checks. I remember one time, bro, I went to downtown Michigan Avenue, the Magnificent Mile, the Rodeo Drive of Chicago. I walk in there. I'm in Neiman Marcus, right? And the guy's like, during the pandemic, he goes, I haven't sold a pair of dress shoes in a month. I haven't sold a suit in a month. Neiman Marcus on Michigan Avenue. I haven't sold a suit or a pair of dress shoes in a month. I have, however, sold a bunch of Gucci kicks, sneakers, sweats, right? And people are just blowing their stimulus checks. They're blowing their money, and so it's a big reason why when there's a lack of financial literacy, it doesn't matter how much money somebody gives you. If you're unaware of what to do with it when you get it, stimulus plan, tax refund, bonus check, it's all going to dilute back out to who? The businesses that you spend your money on. And then you get mad at the business for making money. And then you get mad at entrepreneurs for them having businesses to catch money. The way I look at it, financial literacy is how do I get enough buckets when money comes in? Do I want to come to the river of opportunity with a teaspoon? Or do I want 55-gallon drums or a dam to wall it off? So therefore it's my opportunity. And when I filed bankruptcy in 1996, when I had a tough financial situation, when I went through divorce, I told myself at that point, I better increase my financial literacy because I learned, Rodolfo, more from my bad experiences than my good. What about you?
I mean, I'm a professional having bad experiences, but I had this, I had this, so I was watching this girl, I see this girl on TikTok, and she says this, some message that she's giving. She says, it's so crazy that I can see girls, I can see my friend, or I don't remember if she says girls or my friends, getting out of her apartment, paying $1,200 in her apartment with shoes that are $1,500. Did you get it? She says she would rather, she lives in my friend, she says, she lives in her apartment that she pays $1,200 and she's wearing $1,500 shoes.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. So, yeah, this phenomenon goes all the way, to the, to our roots, to the families, that we know how to handle our money. But wait, one is inflation. I know that for me, I'm telling you, my number one issue that I've seen in meeting with families in the kitchen table is, people don't even know, how to balance their checkbook. People don't know, hey, there is an income and there is expenses. And you're not supposed to spend more than your income. You know what I mean? You're supposed to spend less. I promise you, it's like unbelievable.
We have a funny story. When I was in the Marine Corps, we had these Marines. So we finally get a checkbook from the credit union because, the first time you ever had a full-time job, you're 17, 18, 19 years old, first time you ever had a full-time job, the bank gives you a bunch of checks. And of course, when you're in the Marines, if you bounce checks or you manage your money inappropriately or wrongly, you actually get counseled. Because in the military, if you handle your money improperly, it's actually a decay of morale. And if morale is down, you can't do your job because instead of you doing your job, you're thinking about your money. So at least the Marines were on top of helping, at least making sure people, they pay the checks. So at these Marines, they were bouncing checks.
Oh, wow.
And they were getting counseled. Hey, Marine, why are you bouncing checks? Well, Sergeant Major, I still got checks in my checkbook. Well, that doesn't mean you can't write checks. You got to have money in the account to write damn check stores, knucklehead. You got checks in the checkbook. Doesn't mean you got free money, man.
Now, for my experience, I'm the same, man. I'm like we didn't know how to spend our money. I'm coming from a Hispanic family that we live towards our weekend. You know what I mean? I remember what I used to live. We live towards our weekend. And then let me give you this other part of my financial education, okay? I thought my only way to increase my income, when people said, if your job is not giving you enough money, what's the solution? In my world, right?
Get a second
job. Now, if the second job is not getting you there, guess what you do?
Get a third job.
Find a third job. If you cannot do, you can afford. If you cannot, you put your kids to work. If you don't do that, there is always this about thinking that you're gonna get ahead in life, but only having a job. And I remember meeting our mentor, Patrick, but David, it's not like that. You should have a job, which is great. You're supposed to have a job. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing bad with it. But you have a job if you want to increase in order for you don't have to necessarily lower your expenses. If you like to live good, you go and make more money. And the solution is not to get another job, is to find a new career, a new business, improve your skills.
Yep.
So if you do that, you can make more money, you can improve your financial situation.
Yeah, because one area of practicality is to cut coupons and say, Rodolfo, how many times you said, instead of taking it to the place to change my oil, I can change my own oil. I'll save myself 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah, I used to do that. Yeah.
Instead of having somebody cut the grass, I'll cut my own grass, saves me 20, 30 bucks.
I used to do that too.
Of course. Instead of having someone else to fix something around the house, I'll do it myself. I can save myself 20 or 30 bucks. That's one way to do it. But when you do what you just recommended people to do to increase their skill set, you're going to realize your time is more worth now. It's worth more. Your time is worth more money. And so I was interviewing this Jewish rabbi. His name is Rabbi Lapin. He said, if you ever go down in a Jewish community, you'll never find the homeowner mowing his own lawn. He'll always find some kid down the block to bless him with the job, because his job is to make more money. His job was to create jobs. Jewish people, they do business with each other. LDS, Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormons, they do business with each other. How come it's so hard for people in the African-American community, Latino community, Filipino community to want to do business with each other? You're supposed to help each other out.
Oh my gosh.
Do business with your neighborhood, your community. And
man, I remember my dad used to tell me, man, hey, every Sunday, there was something to fix at the home. You know what I mean? So, and my dad was really good at it. It was my dad, like, you need to fix the shower, so you become a really good plumber. Or you need to fix the car, so you're a really good mechanic. My gosh. And I don't know, every Sunday, like from 1 p.m. after lunch, right? You get your lunch, then every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., like fixing the freaking shower. I mean, man, I hated that stuff. Yeah. But you're right. You're right. It's like $20, $30, or whatever it is. Why don't we find a way to make more money? That's the financial education. And let me give you this other one. Look at this financial education that happened when I was growing up. They dressed me up. Okay. They're going to dress. I was like, I don't remember what, 6, 7, 8 years old. I don't remember. They dressed me up. You are going to open your first saving account.
Whoa,
in the bank, because the bank is going to help you. The bank is your friend. And I went and opened my first bank account with, at that time was colones, because that's what we used to have in El Salvador, colones. 5 colones, 10 colones. We go and open, which is equivalent as $2, and I go and open my first account, and I was excited. And I thought that was a big deal, because the bank is there to, imagine we're getting indoctrinated to think that the bank is helping us.
Yeah. And once you, by the way, for those of you who are watching this right now in the live chat, we got some people chattering back and forth. Why do you think people do dumb things with money? Why do you think people do dumb things with money? Rodolfo, what are some of the comments that people have right now so far?
Let me see if I can see. No, but they haven't posted yet, right? They need to post over there.
Some live chats here. We got Stephanie, Christy Bermia mentioned that $80,000 MD Anderson, Dr. Anderson turned my mother away. Wow, with her cancer because of this amount. $80,000 in debt. So sad to hear that. Donna Ellis says people trying to keep up reality shows, not knowing that's not reality. The values are in the wrong place and no thought for true financial freedom for the future. The people trying to keep up with the Joneses. Sure.
Right?
Like Rodolfo, for example, you're making money now, but I always see you suited and booty. You're always wearing, what's your brand? Your belt buckle that you always wear? The Salvatore? Ferragamo. You wear Ferragamo. But I remember seeing you come up. You weren't always wearing Ferragamos.
Uh-huh.
When did you start? What income level were you then starting to buy designer label type clothes?
I don't remember exactly, but the first time I saw them, I saw somebody say, I want one of those. One day I want to have one of those. I don't remember exactly how much was my income, but I've been a big saver though. I've been a big saver. I was so afraid that I was gonna lose something in the business. That's another, I'll tell you, it's not good necessarily to be that radical. That one day somebody had to have a conversation with me and say, listen, man, it's time for you to start like improving. You don't have to drive the Honda Accord forever. You know what I mean? you can start improving. It's time for you to get a Mercedes. I remember that time. Like, me to get a Mercedes? Can I get a Mercedes? And say, yeah, I think it's time. And I remember I got a Mercedes and I started buying nice stuff. But I've been a saver. I've been a good saver. I think so, right?
I remember when you and Ceci, because of your work with AIG, you guys got a 2-year lease on a BMW, all paid for?
Yes.
We just first came to the company. That happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, this company just awarded Rodolfo Vargas a brand new BMW.
You want to know the story about that? See, you're a spiritual guy. Haven't I told you the story or no?
Far away.
Huh? You know the story or no?
Go ahead. Tell everybody.
So he's a spiritual guy, so I can tell you that. So Imani, I was practicing at that time tithing, right? I was practicing being a good steward of your money and tithing, 10%, right? That's what tithing is So one day I'm driving with Ceci, and the EAG has this contest, right, about getting the BMW, and Ceci I was driving Ceci crazy because I was telling Ceci, I'm gonna get the car. So I said one day, Ceci tells me, Rodolfo, can you stop quiet yourself? Can you be quiet? You're talking too much about the car. If we're not gonna win the car, there is thousands of agents going after this car. We're not gonna win. Can you stop it? I said, I can't. I really want to win it. And she said, if you really believe you're gonna win it, can you stop saying it? And you can tithe it. If you win it, tithe it, and ask God to see if he wants to give you the car. But I had to silence myself. I had to stop saying whatever I wanted to say. So guess what? A year later, I won the car. And guess what? And Ceci reminded me about, you remember your promise? You need to tithe the car. But I believe that's part of it. I believe I'm with full honesty on a podcast. I believe that's part of the success of people being good steward of their money, whether it's tithing or whether it's charity or whether it's saving it or whether you're not blowing all your money, because what you're telling is that you don't know how to handle the money. And you can start saving money or tithing money with a little bit too. You don't have to become a millionaire, because some people, have you heard this one, Matt? I'm going to start saving or giving money away when I make rich. A lot of money. Yep. When I'm rich. Yeah. No. You start with a little bit. So when you're rich, you're not going to do it if you don't start with a little bit. So what's your opinion on being a good steward on your money?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, being a good steward, the definition of the word steward is watching over something that's not yours. So in other words, this blessings, this $1 million income, your stocks, your bonds, your dividend checks that we receive, that's not ours. We're just blessed to receive it. It's a gift. That's the way I look at it. And if I'm not wise with this gift, then what's is given, much can also be taken away. If you're using it for yourself, it's eventually going to wither away. But if you make it about other people, guess what? It's going to multiply. And so one of my favorite parables was the parable of the talent. Look at you, bro, flexing with your $100 bill. What you got there, man?
No. You mentioned it's a Jewish rabbi. Keep the story. I just wanted to, you mentioned. So he says there is another guy that says this, it says over here, in God we trust.
Yes.
It trust. It doesn't say in God we believe. It doesn't say, hey, you need to believe in God or you need to have faith. It said in God we trust. So you trust, if you're a good steward of your money, he's going to provide as much as you need. That's what he says. So go ahead.
So I was listening to this faith-based economist, and he wrote this book called God Wants You to Be Rich. Okay, now that's debatable. That's an argument, right? Yep. Because there's virtues behind that, and there's also virtues that don't back that. Okay. And by the way, I'm just curious. Do you think God wants you to be rich? I've asked this question many times. And so when he goes about his topic, he says there to not give, to not save. That's saying I don't trust God. So in other words, if I don't give because I'm afraid that I'm not going to have enough for me, if I don't save because I need to pay this for my bills today, what you're actually saying with your faith, whatever you feel is your faith, whatever book that you decide to read to improve yourself in your spiritual life. When you say I don't give and I don't save and invest for the future, what you're saying is, or whatever you're praying for, you don't really believe it. Because I need to hoard right now what I have. I need to hold it tight because I don't think my God, whoever you deem that is your God, is ever going to give you what you need to pay your bills. If the birds of the field don't even worry about what food to eat, why should you worry? Now, is that financial literacy? I think financial literacy comes from understanding money and where money comes from. And that's not necessarily just a budget, not necessarily just a 401k and how to tuck it away and the percentage you're going to save or the interest rate you're going to pay down over time to pay off your mortgage. That's one aspect of financial literacy. I think money, for the most part, is not only head knowledge, but more so spirit knowledge.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
In God we trust, man. That's what
So,
it says.
Miriam Rivera said, I used to name my savings account, but what I'm saving for back in the days. That's interesting, huh? There it is, baby. In God we trust. It's on your coins, right? And so let's move on to another subject.
Yes.
By the way, I wanted to address this real quick. I want to show you this one because a couple things here. Number one, inflation is causing people to live paycheck to paycheck. And even so, almost 2/3 of America are now living paycheck to paycheck, according to one report. Even so, the crazy part about this is that even people making six figures, even those among six figures, 48% said they're now living paycheck to paycheck, up from 42%. And there's a survey more than 2,600 adults found. So I want to go to this website here called Economic Policy Indicator, EPI.org. So I put in Houston, Texas here, right, Rodolfo?
Yes.
I'm just wondering, what does it take to live with 2 adults, 2 kids in Houston, Texas? And let me know whether or not you think this is high or low. Because according to this, it says housing is about $1,100 in Houston. Is that low or high?
I don't think so.
I think it's low.
That is very low. But
Okay.
But anyway, I mean, let's assume yes. Okay.
Okay.
But there are places. But let's assume housing is $1,100. So we're getting maybe for an apartment, a very small apartment, maybe 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment. Yes. But let's keep it like that. Maybe in the area, maybe you live in the outskirts. Maybe yes. Okay.
Food for 4 mouths to feed in a house, $733.
Imagine you being in the house, man. I mean, imagine. I'm sorry, man, but imagine your kids, man. I know your kids. Maybe Milo doesn't eat. Enzo eats a lot. Okay, but let's assume yes. Okay, 733. Jordan, I don't think so, brother. I don't think so.
But by the way, Joe, we put him in a new school today, and they said the 4-year-olds are in a different room. He's 3.
Oh my gosh, man, your son, he eats, man. He eats. The other day I saw him a video, him eating a burger. Like Milo barely eats, man, but Enzo eats. Enzo, my second son, eats a lot. Go ahead. But
transportation, car payment, gas, I bet you that's up higher now.
Yeah.
Healthcare, other necessities, taxes. So basically what they're saying, even with this, and by the way, according to your opinion and your reaction to this, what you're basically saying, this is kind of low.
Yeah.
So in other words, living on $6,334 a month or $76,000 a year in Houston is actually kind of low. Is that basically your reaction?
Yeah, 100%.
So what, 82, 85,000?
Yeah. I would say, yeah, somebody needs to make more, but let's assume that. By the way, over there is not taking into consideration savings, putting money away, emergency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is just costs.
Correct.
It's just costs. So I'm just curious. I wonder what's like in, so if I did like, well, give me another city.
Go Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. Chicago metro area. All right. Goes up a little bit. Housing a little bit. Food a little bit.
What about the housing? Do you agree on the housing?
No, it's in the hood, maybe. So these are fairly conservative numbers. This is
look at healthcare.
Healthcare. The other taxes are high in Chicago. 92,000 a year, 2 adults, 2 kids.
2,000.
Right? A year.
Wow.
So listen, if you're saying I'm trying to get by making 15, 20, $30 an hour, the question is how?
Go Los Angeles. Go Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. Long Beach, Glendale area. Okay, housing $2,000 a month for 2 adults, 2 kids. Food, healthcare. And I bet you this is probably pre-inflation. Basically, to live in LA, 2 adults, 2 kids, you need to make 6 figures just to keep your head above water, just to live. We're not talking about going to Santa Monica Pier. We're not talking about going to, enjoy movies and eating out. This is just to live. $102,000 for 2 adults, 2 kids. Ain't that nuts?
Insane.
That's the reality. And that's Black Eye Media Production says on the chat box, that's very unreal numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm glad you said those are very unreal numbers. Unreal how? Unreal like they're too low or unreal like they're too high?
I think he meant they're too low. That's what I think. Like there is more.
Even more so a reason to increase your financial literacy. Even more reason to improve your ability to make more money. And so, that's where we are as a country. By the way, it's not a luxury anymore to get financial education.
Question for you, more controversial question, not controversial. I mean, who's teaching right now in the US financial literacy?
The question right now, finally, we got one state. Governor DeSantis just passed a law 2 weeks ago that's requiring at least a semester in high school to graduate before getting your high school diploma. The only state, right? It's law. Now, where I'm from, the reason why would you like to, by the way, Rodolfo, I don't know if you even know this. Would you like to know a funny story of how I got the nickname Money Smart Guy?
Mm-hmm. I like to know that. Yeah.
Okay.
You never told me that one.
So 2004, 2005, I've got my own company. Matthew Sapaula Inc. is my own insurance and retirement planning type of firm, independent firm, 100% contract, 130% contract with buying leads, right? And so I recruited a lady by the name of Lisa Johnson to be my staff. And she connects me to Alejo Torres, who's the outreach director for the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. He says, hey, I've heard a lot of great things about your retirement planning classes. You do seminars in restaurants. We'd like for you to do your seminar for Money Smart Week during Financial Literacy Month in April. And we'd like to have your class as part of our calendar of available classes for improving your financial literacy in the city of Chicago. And they'll promote it on the calendar online. They're promoting the calendar. They put all these statement stuffers in your electricity bill and your heat bill. So everybody across the Chicagoland metro area would get invitations to go through these financial classes for free. And Alejo says, can you talk on radio? Can you go on TV? I said, I'll give it a shot. I've never done it before. He said, well, we'd like to use our PR, our publicist, to get you some spots on radio and TV to promote Money Smart Week. You can't promote your company, but you can't promote Money Smart Week for the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. No problem. So I'm on radio, I'm on TV. Hey, come to Money Smart Week, come to Money Smart Week, come to Money Smart Week. Anyway, I'm officing at this executive suite, a spot where they have many businesses inside the suite, right?
Yeah.
And so there's 2 Matts in this executive suite. And the receptionist picks up the phone. Thank you for calling Matthew Sapaula Inc. How may I help you? Yeah, sure. The reception goes, which one? Which Matt would you like to talk to? And then, hey, Matt, says that, what? ABC wants you on TV tonight. And guess what they called you? Because they didn't know your last name. They're asking for the money guy, the guy that does the Money Smart Week stuff. The Money Smart guy. What'd they call me? I'm going to write that down. That's it. Completely by mistake. Money Smart guy.
And you kept the name until now. Money Smart Guy.
What
were the topics that you were covering when you were doing those?
9 ways to cut taxes. 9 ways to cut tax. 9 ways to cut taxes and recession-proof your retirement. Still valid to this day.
No,
And those
are
based
money. I know that. I know you're very professional. You know your game. By the way, we have done events and we have brought the very, very smart people to our event related to money.
That's it, bro. That's it. So let's talk about something else, man. I wanted to ask you about this in terms of relationship building. Okay. You and I built organizations that span across the country. You and I have both the same similar situation where we built offices from dirt when there's nobody around. And we're leading a volunteer sales force, a sales force that wants to work together, that wants to work together or not. Okay. How do you, Rodolfo, go about Houston, Florida, Puerto Rico, the areas where you have many different states? I know I'm leaving out a lot, but how do you go about building business relationships that help build your business?
Have we talked about the book or not yet? Because that's part of the book.
Far
right?
away. Go ahead and refer it.
Yeah, I mean, one strength that every person needs to have if they want to build a leadership or they want to build a team, in my opinion, is to learn how to have crucial conversations. Okay, and that's the book of the month that we're reading this month. Why crucial conversations? Well, you need to be able to tell something to somebody that maybe you disagree or the emotions are high and there is a lot at stake, and at the same time, keep the trust with the person. So how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you tell somebody that he's wrong or she's wrong, or they tell you that you're wrong, or they tell me I'm wrong, and still have trust and still tell the person? So in the book talks about there are about 20,000 deaths in the US because of negligence of doctors. And for example, the mistake goes like this. The doctor is supposed to wash his hands, let's just say, right? And he's about to do surgery, but nobody tells him anything because he's the doctor, because he's in a position of power. So the nurse, she's afraid to confront the doctor, to tell the doctor, you need to wash your hands before doing the surgery, or you're doing it wrong. You're not supposed to put the anesthesia is not correct. And there are deaths that happen because somebody doesn't know how to have a crucial conversation. How about that?
How to be assertive, right? How to be assertive.
And how do you tell somebody that is in a position of power? And it tells this story, the book tells the story about somebody, everybody that is this big boss CEO that is making a wrong decision in the company. The CEO is making a wrong decision about opening an office, let's just say, right? He's making the wrong decision. And everybody's saying, yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, you're great. And this guy says, with all due respect, you're making a mistake. That's not the way that we make decisions. One of the lower ranking, right? Not the CEO. Some of the managers says, that's not correct. You're breaking your own protocol, how you make decisions.
For example. Yeah, for example, I mean, there's 3 ways we can face crucial conversations, right? 3 different ways. Number 1, we can avoid them, just like what you're talking about. I don't want to interrupt the doctor. Oh, the boss, he's in charge. I don't want to lose my job. I can avoid the conversation, right? Number 2, you can face the conversation, but you may not have the skill set on what to say, the intonation, the body language. Because a lot, you're right, and you offend the person you're having a crucial conversation with, right? And you because you don't have the skills necessary to do that. So what happens? Conflict. Number 3, you can face it. You can equip yourself with a skill set. You both handle it well because you present well. You sell it well. You don't jab at their pride and ego. Sadly, you learn how to work with them in dignity and respect. And now you can have a meaningful, crucial conversation.
You solve the issue, right?
You solve the issue. The only downside to that, Rodolfo, into any crucial conversation, if the other side is at least not reasonable.
That's right.
And that's the hard part. And I think sometimes people are so, like, for example, so many people are offended today. I'm offended. And right away, instead of thinking about why they're offended, they react. Their emotion takes over. You offended me. Well, just because we offended you, Ricky Gervais said, in our Dream Team call yesterday, that Patrick was playing that video, Ricky Gervais said, listen, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right about a topic. Sure, you could be offended. It doesn't mean your position on a topic or your understanding of that topic doesn't mean that you're actually right. Quite frankly, then you should be offended. But then again, how do we have a crucial conversation? I think a lot of people today, instead of having a positive debate, I think one side, Rodolfo, would rather shout the other person down and shut him up and cancel him, versus saying, you know what, let me have a conversation. I remember watching the debates, man, and someone is coming after Cheney, Dick Cheney. Okay, he's coming after Dick Cheney, and the guy was absolutely rude. He got under his skin, but the way he responded, I can't remember exactly the actual words he responded to, but him saying, you know what, hey, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but not necessarily from the way I look at it. You're right. So here's why. But he was calm. He was collected. He didn't allow the emotion of the issue overtake his ability to answer. And I think, Rodolfo, that is a practiced effort to be able to have a crucial conversation and debate a topic without the other side feeling that they're losing, because that's what happens in a debate. You talk out whatever your positions are, and then you go from there. What do you think the best solution is?
That's crazy that also marriages, relationship with teams, it has to do with crucial conversations. And that's another part. If we're not trained to have financial literacy, guess what? We're also not trained to have crucial conversations. Yeah. Nobody taught you when you were a kid. Listen, Matt.
Yeah.
When your emotions are high, your intelligence is low. So when your emotions are high, don't say this crazy stuff that you said. Nobody taught me that stuff. It's we let our emotions grow.
Like, Rodolfo, are you looking forward? Okay, let me ask you this. Growing up with you and your brother, when did you guys start having conversations about sex? Uncomfortable, right?
With my brother?
Yeah.
With my parents?
Parents and your brother, when you guys start having dialogue about sex? What age?
With them, never.
That's a crucial conversation that needs to be had, right? Okay, now here's the thing. Let me flip it though. Let me accelerate it. Now with Enzo.
Yeah.
Now with Milo.
Yeah.
You're two boys.
No, my dad was good in that. My dad was good. Yeah, he had those conversations, but never like he had those conversations.
How old were you?
Maybe 10, 11.
Bro, do you realize now with the internet,
oh my,
you're probably gonna have these conversations at 5 or 6.
You must. How about you?
Yeah, I'm preparing for a funny conversation with JoJo, because I went to go see his friends at school, because they had donuts and dads and donuts day at school. It was last Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm kind of peeking out, how JoJo is accepted amongst his friends, and there's just social context, By the way, this is why you want to learn. Internally, we call it FaceTime, right? This is external, outside of PhD. We call this networking and getting to know the crowd. So I'm getting to know everybody. Oh, so that's how you are with JoJo around. Oh, that's how you are with JoJo not around. Interesting. Oh, teachers, how they interact with the students. Interesting. And I figured out what the social, kind of like the dynamics were with inside. And then I saw also
Milo has a friend.
Oh, okay.
A special friend. So the other day, Ceci and I, we go pick up Milo, and so there is this lady, right? And he says, who are you the parents of? And we say, oh, Milo. And the lady, oh, I know who Milo is. I say, how do you know? Yeah, my daughter, she's always talking about Milo. Okay. So I asked Milo, hey, who is this girl? Who are your friends in school? He said, there is this girl named Valentina, he said. Okay. He says, she's your friend? Yeah, she's my friend. And literally, the mother knows about Milo, about the new friend. So that's another part.
That's funny. That's funny. So the way to improve this area of our lives, communication, whether you're running a base shop, your conversation, this translates to clients too as well. How do you have a crucial conversation with a client that's making a dumb decision? How do you bring it up? How do you talk to an associate that's making a dumb decision? They shouldn't be opening an office space, or they should be opening up an office space, or they should fire staff or hire staff. How do you have a crucial conversation with them or there without them feeling like their egos are ripped? Which leads me to my next point. We had talked about at the beginning of the show, and we'll wrap up with this. The most important rule in entrepreneurship, it's 4 phases, right? 4 phases, 4 steps is number one. If you put an umbrella under these 4 phases, it's just my favorite saying from Tony Robbins is constant and never ending improvement. Kanai. You're brand new in business. Guess what you got to do? Improve. Okay, you got to the first level, $100,000. Guess what you got to do now? Improve to get to 250. Well, guess what you got to do to get to 500,000? Improve. Now you got a team of 10. Now you got a team of 50. Now you got a team of 100. Guess what you got to do now? Improve. And so we talk about the 4 stages. Our CEO loves to break these down in 4 stages. Rodolfo, first one, I think is the easiest one, is to outwork everybody. I'm going to outwork you, man. I'm going to outwork you. Now, bro, right now, you currently have the record right now in the company for the most amount of perfect weeks. Because in a weekly accountability call with our CEO founder, Patrick David, he says, this is if you run this many appointments, you've had this many results on your production, you have a perfect week. Rodolfo, how many perfect weeks have you had?
32.
Okay, so let's just say this. I got to save face here, Rodolfo. Okay, you got to let me save face here right quick. Would you agree, right, that Sheena and I were the first one to establish a record?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you guys were the first one to not only do the record, but to establish a new standard, because we never used to do that.
Perfect week. So we did 13 perfect weeks, right? And then who started? And then next thing you know, boom, that was the standard. And then here's the cool thing about standards. People know what to beat now.
Yeah.
And the next thing, Edward and Jamie Musgrove beat our record. I think it was 23, 24 weeks. But the current running record right now is who? You. And you do this for another 4 weeks. You beat a record by 4 times. And that includes evenings and weekends or having enough production activity to have a perfect week. So Rodolfo, what's your 2 cents on outworking everybody?
Well, I like consistency and systems. I believe in consistency and systems. So I try to do things that I can, for example, I go to the gym every day at 6 a.m. I don't go at 7. I don't change the time. If I don't wake up at 6 a.m., I cannot go the entire day. That's something that I'm my rules, right? That's the rules that I do. I'm probably isn't opposite to what other people will do, but I don't go in the evening. I only go at 6 a.m. The only day that I can go at different times is maybe a Sunday. But I go every day at 6. Why? Because I only work through systems and consistency. That's something that it's a game that I play in my mind, right?
Yep.
So it's a perfect week. If I can keep it like that, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to attempt to do it with consistency, with the same thing every single day. I'm a habit type of guy. So I'm also need to be careful, but the people that are my same personality as me, they also need to be careful with having bad habits. You know what I mean? Because I can have a good habit, or I can have also a bad habit. So that's true. So we imagine you keep doing everything wrong every other day. That's when you go down.
Yeah.
So people will know, it's Jim Rohn says it. You keep doing the same mistake. The failure is doing the same mistake all over again every day. And success is doing the right thing every day for the longest time.
What about out improve? So we got outwork, out improve. What's your 2 cents on out improve?
You need to compare yourself. So are we doing like a game, like we need to answer it fast? Okay. Out improve. I tell you, you need to be better than you be yesterday. Meaning your numbers in April needs to be better than last year, April. Your 2022 needs to be better than your 2021. That's improvement for me. And it never ends. Improvement never ends. The moment you see somebody that they already know, you know this one, when people tell you, hey, have you read Crucial Conversation? I read it.
Done. Read it again.
Yes, you need to read it again. I remember the book, Barbarians to Bureaucrats. I have read that book so many times. And Patrick said, there might be a board council that thinks that already read it. You need to read it again.
Yep.
That's me. So I need to go read the freaking book again. And guess what? I got some ideas from the book. I'm getting so many new ideas on this book. So improvement never ends. So how about you, man?
So I'll strategize. So when I got burnt out of just being an insurance salesman for 12 straight years, buying leads and doing dinner seminars, I needed to find a way where I can say, I love this industry. I just don't like the work I've been doing the last 12 years, completely dependent upon myself. I need a scale. So I needed a new strategy. I need to find a different way to make passive income. I need to find a way to make sure I had money in the bank and increase my credit. I need to find a different way and different avenue and how to stay in the same industry, but do it a lot better. And when I made the switch, the strategy would also take time to marinate and see how I need to adjust along the way. I just needed a new strategy, business development, leadership development, operations, right? These things I needed to have, sales, systems and processes, right? These things I needed to make sure I was able to strategize and think more, not just like a sales leader, but think more like a CEO. And then last but not least, Rodolfo, since you've been doing this quite well, outlast. So we got outwork, out-improve, out-strategize, and last but not least, outlast. Your 2 cents. Outlast.
You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your energy. You need to make sure that you're thinking long-term. By the way, you never know if you're going to outlast. You know, how many times have you seen somebody that, boom, all of a sudden they go up, but they get tired? You know what I mean? Because they don't have a next, they don't have a new milestone to go after. You know, for the people that are listening internally, I asked this question today, and tell me about this, Matt. Why some people slow down after hitting a promotion, like becoming an MD or $100,000 income? Why do you think they slow down? What would you say, Matt?
Because they compared themselves to their former goal. Right now, they achieved that goal. They don't have it next. But they made more money than their friends and family. They made more money than they were a year ago. They made more money than they were 10 years ago. They're happy, they're content, and they're not triggering the out-improve principle of business.
That's right. So I believe it. I believe in that. By the way, that is one of the part that it sounds very easy to do out loud, but it's not, man. Because all of a sudden somebody's wanting to try to sell you to the idea that you need to slow down, that you need to stop. So outlast is actually the last one. Okay.
So for those of you watching this, you got a bunch of millionaires here, cash flow millionaires here that are hungry. We just got started. Speaking of that, we are hungry for competition, and our next event is Train a Trainer coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But our next national convention is in August. And here's a quick trailer of what our last national event looked like. Let's take a look at what last year's annual convention was. It is only going to get better as these things could transpire, and we're very excited about it. So let's take a look at here before we let you guys go what our annual event looked like last year. Let's check this out.
That's so cool, man.
I'm so excited. They're story builders, baby. We're going to make our guys and gals heroes. So, Rodolfo, as we wrap up, brother, your final thoughts here as we go off here into awesome April before we go to the Patriot Stadium next week.
Get ready for Saturday. Guys, we have the last days to qualify for Train the Trainers. So whoever is listening to this that is internal and they want to go to Train the Trainers, don't forget to qualify for it. You know what you need to do in order to qualify for Train the Trainers. The other part I tell you is this: whatever you're doing right now, you need to start thinking, who are you going to be in MGM in that event that we're going to be having? Because you want to go to this event. By the way, Matt, we're going to be announcing also some speakers.
4 of them.
We're going to be having in MGM 4 speakers. We're going to be announcing them, okay, in Train the Trainers. So MGM, you need to start thinking, who do you want to be in that event? Who do you want to be an MVP? Do you want to be at the top? You want to have your next milestone? You want to have the next income? How many people you're going to be taking? You want to speak in front of 20,000 people. You want to shock everybody. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be in MGM Grand Arena? That is going to be in August, right? In August, exactly?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, it's going to be in August. So you need to start thinking, you need to start preparing for it. I mean, the company is growing, guys. Last month, we broke the record in licenses. We broke the record in production. We're doing more than ever before in our career. People are making more money than ever. If there is a time that we're looking in the company for dominators and people who want to take it to the next level, it's right now. So if you're listening to this and you like to be part of it, you're competitive, you're a hard worker, you like to learn what it is to work with people that are moving shakers. If you want to be part of an industry that educates families about money, if you like to be part of an industry where you can create a company within a company, if you want to be part of a company that provides a system for you to grow with a bunch of people like me, like Matt, guys like me who didn't have any background into this, immigrant from El Salvador, and can become a multimillionaire. If you would like to learn how to do that, don't forget to reach out to us and get ready, because MGM Grand Arena is going to be insane.
And my only 2 cents, outstanding, Rodolfo, great 2 cents there. My 2 cents is this. They say education is king. Got to disagree with that. Applied education is king. Education is queen, and making sure that you understand which goes in priority. You can learn all you want to learn. You can be literate all you want to be, get all the information, gather information. But eventually, especially with the game of money, you got to apply. Because through the application process, that goes from learning to then experiencing. And we look forward to you experiencing the next best version of you as you apply yourself in this month of Financial Literacy Month. That being said, Rodolfo, I appreciate you being my co-host. Next week, episode 44, every Wednesday, 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. You have Rodolfo and I right here. But we may or may not have it next week because we're going to be at Patriot Stadium next week. So we'll double check with our calendar. We might even, anyway, make sure you follow the official Rodolfo Vargas on Instagram. You capture what he's doing behind the scenes. And you can also follow me if you choose to at Money Smart Guy on Instagram too as well. So that being said, Rodolfo, appreciate you, big dog. And I'll see you here in the next few days.
Yeah, bye-bye.
On behalf of Rodolfo Vargas, I'm your Money Smart Guy here on the PHP Podcast. And until we meet again, continue to help people, continue to love people, and continue to change your lives today. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next week.